Hey, welcome to Physical Embodiment Studio. I'm Courtney Sprawls and I've been a personal trainer for over 12 years, and I'm here to talk to you about something that is usually overlooked but super important to your health and fitness journey: the strength of your feet. Your feet are the foundation of your body and of your movement practice. So oftentimes our feet are our driver. It's what we do to step and climb and walk and jump and squat, and it's creating the balance and stability of our body. So if you're experiencing any pain, inflammation in the joints, maybe it's plantar fasciitis or shin splints or knee pain or lower back pain, some of those issues can be coming from your feet. So today I'm going to talk to you about how the bones, the muscles, the joints in our feet can impact the rest of our body, and what we can do to mitigate some of the tension or pain that's caused from weak feet, or maybe even, not even weak, but poor mechanically driven feet. So the foot is made up of 26 bones, 33 joints, and over 100 muscles. They're very complex for such small little things. And with all of the muscles and bones and joints that are associated with the foot, there's a lot that can go wrong. So it's important that we take care of those muscles, joints, and bones in order to enhance our performance, prevent injury, create better posture and balance. And the way to do that is to test your foot to see where you're at and to take care of your feet, okay? And then strengthen the muscles and joints and bones around the foot. So we'll first start with a test. I want you to ground your foot onto the floor and really focus on the tripod of your foot, the big toe, the little toe, and the heel of your foot pressing against the floor. We're going to focus on just one foot at a time. I'm choosing my right foot for now. And I want you to lift your big toe up off the floor without your little toes lifting. And you're going to lower back down, lift, and lower. You might notice that your little toes want to flare up with your big toe. The whole test of this is to see if we can do it in isolation, okay? So if you're not there yet, that's okay. I'll give you some tips and tricks to help you out. But first, we're just getting awareness. I've noticed that with clients, I sometimes see their hands moving as well as their feet. So if that does help, you can use your big thumb to try and lift your big toe as well. Or you can even gently press down onto your little toes and just lift that big toe. Now let's try out the other side. Just lifting and lowering. Ooh, this side's a little harder for me. Just lifting and lowering that big toe. See if your other foot's trying to join in the party. Just focusing on that big toe. Okay, see, this is helpful. This is good information for me to even do regularly and check in with my foot. So if you're having trouble on one side versus the other, that's just something to take note of. No judgment, no problem. We'll come back to it, but we just need to use this as education for yourself for your movement practice. Okay, now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to switch back to your first foot, and you're going to press your big toe into the floor as your little toes lift. Try not to grip through your toes as you do this. You're just gently pushing the pad of your big toe into the floor, lifting the little toes. Okay, we'll try the other side. Okay, cool. So we got those working. Now, again, this is a test. We're just seeing where you're at. Now, from there, we're going to test your balance. I would recommend having something stable nearby, maybe a wall or a stick to hold on to as we test our balance. Make sure there's nothing sharp or dangerous around you. We're going to ground into your right foot, soft bend in the knee, level out through the hips, engage that right glute, core locked in, and start to lift your left foot up. Now there's some tricks and tips to learn how to balance properly. One is find something to stare at that's unmoving. In a second, we're going to close our eyes, so that's not going to be super helpful here. But if you're already lifting your foot and you're finding yourself falling off balance, then I would advise keeping your eyes open, finding something to stare at. The second thing is zipping through your inner thighs, engaging through the deep core muscles to really lift up and pull through the crown of your head to find that engagement through the center line and keep you really stable. Now I want you to observe what your foot is doing here. Is it wobbling? Are you starting to pronate or overpronate through the foot where your foot caves in, the arch collapses and the knee caves in? That's going to really throw you off balance. So let's do this together. You're going to ground into your right foot, soft bend in the knees. Keep all those things that I just mentioned. So start from the lifting of the arch, engaging through the abs and the adductors, and then pulling up through the crown of your head. If you feel stable here, you might want to practice closing your eyes and see how long you can hold with your eyes closed. Now you might notice with the senses being shut off through the eyes that you're really aware of what your foot and your ankle and knee are doing in space. Okay, go ahead and open your eyes and we'll switch feet. So ground into the opposite foot, soft bend in the knees, active through the glute, engage through the center line, pull up through the crown of your head, and we'll hold here. You might already notice a change from one side versus the other. It might be a little different. And then if you're feeling up for the challenge, you'll close your eyes and notice what your foot does. Okay. When you've had enough, you can blink your eyes open, ground your feet. These are tests. This is just building awareness of your body. No judgment. I'm going to help give you some tips and tricks to hopefully strengthen your feet. Couple notes to have in mind. If your foot pronates or your knees knock in, knee valgus, or the hips start to cave, these are all important factors that are going to impact your feet. And it's kind of a chicken and egg situation. Like, we need to strengthen the joints and the mobility. We need to strengthen the feet and mobilize the ankles and hips in order to protect the knees. All three of these guys work together, ankles, knees, and hips, okay? So we'll go into that in other videos. This is just about your feet right now. So I want you to focus on lifting through the arch of your foot. Now try and do that without scrunching your toes. It's kind of hard. I'll show you from the side. I'm just gonna pull up through the arch of your foot, which in turn will activate my adductor, okay? So see if you can do that on your own, using one foot, lifting through the arch of your foot, engaging through the center line. Then we'll switch to the other side. It might feel a little different, right? Once you have that awareness, I want you to start to stand with more focus on your feet. So throughout your day, notice if you're collapsing through the arches, which will then turn your knees in towards each other. It'll turn off your glutes. It'll activate the lower back a little more than you want. So, couple tips. This might be helpful. Let's start from the ground up. Ground your feet, lift through the arch. Soft bend in the knees, active through the glutes. Gently turning the knees out so we can activate the TFL and the glute medius. Core locked in, tucking the pelvis directly under the rib cage. Shoulders shift down and back. This is proper alignment, okay? So let's cover this. Your feet are the foundation of your movement. The anatomy of your foot is really complex, so there's a lot of things to focus on. This is going to help with our posture, injury prevention, balance, and performance. A couple of tests you can do is the test for the foot yoga, the toe yoga, and the arch of your foot lift, and then balancing with your eyes open or closed. And then ways to care for your feet. One is checking in with your footwear. Notice if your foot or your shoe is really cushiony, or maybe the drop is really gnarly, like it goes from really thick to really not thick at the front of the toe. This can be a lot for your shins and your toes and your feet, and you're not really giving your feet an opportunity to strengthen on their own because there's this big cast and cushion that's supporting your foot all the time. So I'd advise for you to work on strengthening your feet, maybe slowly decreasing the height of your shoe and start to wear more minimalist shoes or spending more time barefoot. From there, toe separators can be really helpful. So you know those things you get at the nail salon, they separate your toes. That can be really helpful for separating your toes and giving more space in between the bones and strengthening the muscles, okay? From there, massaging your foot. A long time ago, a physical therapist recommended freezing a water bottle and putting it on the floor and rolling my foot on there, really to break up some of that scar tissue and adhesions through the arch of my foot. So that's something you can try. Otherwise, you can use a foam roller or a lacrosse ball to really get into the arch of your feet, or just a classic massage can be really nice. Hopefully that's helpful. Thanks for following along on our journey. This is Physical Embodiment Studio. Catch us next time for some more tips and tricks on how to stabilize, mobilize, strengthen, and lengthen the muscles.